back when I started making videos, you could not pay me money to make a video like this. But now, it just seems common. And so many of the stuff that at least I watch, it's like this. So it's kind of crazy. Anyway, good morning. It is Thursday, the 30th. Today, the 30th. Yeah. 3:30. I felt the need to make a follow-up video. In my video where I kind of blast Chris Burns, I knew that was going to be a difficult thing to do, because to go after somebody like Chris Burns, and when I say go after, I mean speak out publicly saying negative things about him, that's such a, Chris Burns really is probably, if I were to make a list of, I've been in this community maybe 10 months or so. If I were to make a list of biggest people in the EDC community, Chris Burns would be right there at the top of the list. I can't think of anybody. Above Chris would be people that are like influencers. I just don't personally know anybody that is that level, And I think that has a lot to do with it. When you get to be right here, that's going to affect you. It's going to affect different people different ways. I knew too that there is probably going to be 99 out of 100 people that have dealt with Chris that didn't have any issues whatsoever. Probably less than that, but probably maybe 70 out of 100. I don't know. I don't have any idea. Anyway, it's hard with that many people that totally love this guy. Most people, instead of stopping and thinking, okay, what's this dude talking about? Who is this dude? What is he talking about? Instead of putting any thought in it, they're like, wait a minute, Chris Burns is awesome. I love Chris Burns. He's not a bad guy. He's a great guy, And they just get mad, and they're just, and I knew that. And now again, there's only really been, the only 2 people that commented on that video. I didn't post it on Facebook. I didn't speak out against it on Facebook, because I am not going to plant my hill. I'm not going to stick my flag on that pole, dude. It's not worth it, if that makes any sense. I'm not going to die on that hill. I'm not going to, I don't know how to word what I'm saying. It's not worth it. Going on Facebook and saying like that, it would just, people are not rational anymore. So anyway, I feel like that video needed some more explanation. So my history with Chris Burns, I have been in contact with Chris Burns, aware of his work, purchasing his work, sending him money, buying my own knives from Chris, whatever, for since the very beginning. He was one of the very first people that I started talking to when I got into all this. So my history with Chris Burns, I think most people just think, dude, you ordered some knives from Chris and you're impatient and now you're pissed off about it. That could not be further from the truth. The length wasn't the issue. Now it was, in a sense, it was part of the issue, but I was willing. I had already committed after speaking to him, saying, hey, what's going on, asking for a refund. When he said no, I said, okay, whatever. And I was committed to see it through. It was like, whatever. The only reason that I said, hey, I want a refund is because in the past 3 months ago, I thought, my state of being at that time was, I want more Chris Burns custom pieces, custom modded, I had ideas that I wanted to put on knives that I didn't know where else to go. I was still too new to all this to really know many more people. And I never had any real reason to seek out any other people, because at that time, I didn't see any reason. I did, but I went ahead with Chris Burns anyway. So the issue was, and let me just, this is kind of a hard video to make. When I said it in the last video, I said I had to shrink this down from 30 minutes. When I gave a 30-minute video, I was going into when I first met Chris and my experiences all the way through. So it was, at the very beginning, things were fine. And then when I had sent him my second piece, the first thing I bought from him was a fully modded Yojimbo. I paid $490 and I got a badass Yojimbo, and he did it super quick. He did me a really good solid with that first Yojimbo. He had quoted me a time. I hit him up. I said, do you have any Yojimbos? He said, I have one. I said, can I buy it? He said, yes. He gave me a price. He gave me a time date, an estimated time date. He gave me a 2-week time date. He was thinking he was only going to have to shipwreck it and it wasn't going to be a big deal. It turned into about a month or so, maybe right over a month. But he still knocked it out super quick because he had told me a couple weeks. I thought that was super cool. And when I met him, he actually lives local to me. I met him. We exchanged the knife. And, yeah, and he told me, because I told him I wanted more stuff done by him. And he said, well, you should have brought it. And I said, well, very rarely do I have $275. He charges $275. If you send him a knife and you want the works, you want all the badass shit, that's going to be $275. So he said, well, being that I'm on a 90-day estimated wait time, I don't mind if you make payments. That's fine. You can make payments and send a little here, a little there, no big deal. And I'm like, well, cool, man. Well, maybe I will. So I sent him my second knife. And whenever I met him, too, you know how knife nerds are when they talk. They just like to share and whatever. So I was like, yeah, I have these two knives that I had done by Colin. Well, he didn't like that. Apparently there is some, maybe it's imaginary, maybe it's not. I know Colin pretty well, and I don't think there's any beef there. If there is beef there, it's imaginary. There is no reason that these two people should have beef. They're just two people in the community that do their own work. You know, there's no reason for any beef there. But he let me know that, for one, Colin does crappy anal work, which is not true. Colin does great anal work. I mean, what he does might not be everybody's cup of tea, but nobody can argue that he does good anal work. I mean, that's just ridiculous to say. But he said it, you know, that's not very good anal work. And he also said that Colin is way overcharging for his work. He said he does way better anal work, and he has his whole secret method that he does, freaking mad scientist, whatever bullshit. And he only charges $65. And I'm like, well, damn, well, I wish I'd have known that. I would have sent, you know, the work to you. Now, would I have? Yeah, probably. You know, if I would have known about Chris Burns whenever I sent Colin my knife, I didn't even know who the hell Chris Burns was. So anyway, fast forward to I sent him my next knife. First I was going to get the works done on it, and then I decided I don't want to wait 3 months. I'll just do the ano. I'll just do an ano job. And then I told him, hey, go ahead and do a flipper delete on it. And when he quoted me a price, I thought that price didn't make sense. It seemed way too high. And to me, in my mind, it just didn't seem like that made any sense. So I asked him about it. I didn't come at him sideways. I mean, he's doing custom work for me. Why am I going to come at him sideways, dude? At this point, I think that we're in I thought, you know, everything was cool between us. I just came at him as respectfully as I could. And I said, hey, I don't think, is that really what you're going to charge me for that? And he went fucking sideways, dude. He was like, who are you? Like, you're wanting me to do your work, and now you're telling me that my prices aren't okay? He's like, he's like, you know what, dude, I'll send you your shit back in a refund. He said, I have 75 grand in my safe worth of work. I don't need your stupid fucking Kaiser, you piece of shit. No, he didn't say that verbatim, but that's the feeling I've got from him. He was just like, who the hell are you, dude? You don't like my prices, and you can send it to Colin and pay even more. And I said, well, for one, Colin doesn't do that. And for two, I'm like, dude, I said, whatever. I said, you've already had my knife for some time. Like, I pretty much begged him, dude, please, do not do that. Don't send my knife back. I just asking a question. I will pay you what you want. I was just asking, dude. Is it really a crime to just ask? I mean, people make mistakes. We will learn later. People make a lot of mistakes. But then he went and looked at my knife, I guess, and saw the work order or whatever, and then he realized that he actually did give me the wrong price. The price that he quoted me was for a flipper delete plus a spidey hole. He thought I, for some reason, wanted spidey holes. And I'm like, no. So the price ended up being less than what he told me. He never said, hey, I'm sorry about that. Nothing. His whole mindset, or his whole, what he put out there was, you should be lucky to have me doing your work. Okay? So, moving forward, way in the future, I got the Kaiser back. It looked great. He did a great job on it. I mean, Chris Burns always does great work. No one's arguing that. So, then when I sent him the other two knives, I mean, dude, I already know the Chris Burns waiting system. If you send something to Chris, it's going to be a while before you get it back. I'm aware of that. Could be 3 months, could be 5 months, okay? I know that when I sent it to him. So, I sent him these knives in December, beginning of January for the second knife. But in that time period, as I have gotten to feel for who Chris Burns is, and I just really just had a bad taste in my mouth with this guy, let's just put it simply, I wasn't crazy about Serpents Run Customs anymore. And so, when the time came, I had asked him, it had been over 3 months. It had been well over 3 months. I don't know how well over 3 months, but it had been enough time to where I felt comfortable saying, hey, how's it going on these knives? Because I know, also, I'm not going to get into it because I'm going to try to keep this short as I can. I know from experience that he has sometimes forgotten about knives that he's had. Not mine personally, but it's happened. I know for fact. So me asking him, hey, how's it going on these knives, isn't me saying, hey, what the hell, dude? It's been 3 months. Where's my shit? It's just saying, hey, how's it going? Just to remind him that he does have my work and I am expecting it in a certain window. So I'm just checking up on it, and what he tells me was, and he never says, hey, how's it going? He has never had any sort of pleasantries with me, period, whatsoever, dude. Never any of that. Normal people, when they talk, when I hit up any of my, like I got another dude that does my stuff now. I hit him up, he says, hey, how's it going? He sends me an audio message asking how my day's going. He is a nice fucking guy, dude. You know, that's how people are. People, when I say that's how people are, people that are like, business related, whatever, when somebody reaches out to him, hey man, how's it going? It's a thing like, this guy is paying me, he wants me to do his work for him. That's awesome. People like him are how I'm able to feed my family. Why not be nice and kind to these people? I mean, they appreciate my work. I mean, there's no reason for there to be like a oh, I don't want to hit up Chris. I don't know if he's in a good mood today. I don't know if he's going to even respond today, which has happened plenty of times. There has been 2 times I've hit him up asking him, because I paid fully for the one knife, and for the second knife I hadn't paid him $1 because I didn't have any idea what he even charged for doing a regrind. I didn't know if it was $270. I didn't know if it was $170. I didn't know if it was $370. So I just waited, and I also thought, okay, well, I haven't even heard from him on my Sangre, so surely the nimble is going to be at least a month down the road. So I wasn't worried about it. As soon as he told me what I owed him, I was going to get it settled. I asked him on 2 different occasions, hey, what do I owe you on the nimble? Because I had the money. I had just gotten paid, or I had just gotten some money. I wanted to get it paid. No response. That's happened several times. Anybody that thinks I'm just making this shit up, I actually went and did a screen record of our entire conversation from several months back to present. And another thing too, somebody made a comment. The guy that made the comment said, you need to check your friend circle, because I bet they did go tell Chris. Dude, the type of friends that I keep, which is not many, because not a lot of people and I really get along too well to where we would become friends. The type of friends that I have are man enough to tell me, dude, you're kind of being a bitch about this. Like, if I don't fuck with people that are not, I don't fuck with little bitch fucking people, dude. Everybody's all fucking gay now, dude, about everything, and it's just such fucking bullshit. I don't mean to offend anybody. If anybody's gay, that's not what I mean. I grew up in a time where gay was an adjective. Now it's this whole fucking political thing. But anyway, very few people tell it like it is anymore, dude. And the people that I associate with, the people that I consider friends, and the people that I am going to share this information about what's going on between me and Chris Burns, are people that I know well enough to let me know, hey, you might not be right here. 100%. They would have, I mean, so people that say stuff, they just don't know. They don't know anything about me, and that's not, I don't blame them for that. They're just sticking up for their buddy Chris, and I don't blame them for that either. I mean, if somebody came out talking shit about one of my people that I held in a high regard, I would at least look into it. I'd find out who they are, what they're talking about, you know. But anyway, let me try to get back to my linear story here. Okay, so really, there's really not much left to say. All that I wanted to say is Chris did me wrong. The way that Chris handled from start to finish, from December till now, the way that he handled me was not right, okay? I understand completely. He's a one-man operation. He works by himself. He can get behind. I understand that. I'm okay with that. If I needed it done quickly or by a certain date, I wouldn't have sent it to Chris. And if I did send it to Chris, I would have let him know from the beginning, hey, it would have been known. It would have been an agreement made. But also, Chris doesn't read my messages. I asked him specifically. The whole reason that he had the second knife is because I asked him, can you do a hollow grind on this? I didn't even want I wasn't seeking to get this knife Serpents Run Customs. I wanted a regrind on it. So I hit up the first person I thought that maybe could do it. I said, this is what I wanted to do. He said, cool, send it over. And I said, right on. So then, 3 months later, I find out, for one, he won't even give me a refund, which, what the hell is that about? I mean, really? You got 75 grand worth of work. Why can't you just give me a refund? Unless you're trying to hassle me. I didn't want the refund because I was being impatient. I wanted the refund because I decided I didn't really want his work. I mean, I decided that a long time ago, but whatever. I've already paid the money. Let's just fucking do it. I wanted a refund because I had Blade Show, and I'm like, dude, it has been 6 weeks since he told me 2 weeks, which was already over 3 months. Like, okay, what's going on here? If he can't communicate, if I would have never reached out to him and said, hey man, I'm just checking, he would have never hit me up and said, hey man, you know how I know that? Because he never once has hit me up on his own, ever, not once, ever, in the whole 10 months I've known him. Maybe it's 8 months I've known him, I don't know, it's been a fucking while. Never once has he hit me up and said anything to me. Maybe he has to you, I don't know, he hasn't to me. So, it's been 3 months, okay, 2 weeks or so, okay, and then 6 weeks, Blade Show. At this point, I'm like, okay, dude, if you'll just, and I was very cordial. I said, dude, don't even worry about these knives. Just send them back, send the money back, no big deal. And he was just like, cool, no problem. I'm very happy to send you these knives back, bud. I don't do refunds. And I'm like, well, that's strange because you threatened to refund my last project. He said, well, I only did that because you had aggravated the hell out of me and I didn't want to deal with you. And I'm just thinking, really? I aggravated the hell out of you by questioning a price that turned out to be wrong? That I asked him, hey, is that really what you charged to do this? And he just freaking, I'll send you your knife back. I don't need your work. Go pay Colin. Like, dude, I'm just asking a freaking question, dude. I'm sorry. I guess I will never question you again, even when you're wrong. Like, that's what you mean by aggravated the hell out of you to where you didn't want to deal with me because you ended up being wrong when I asked you about something? I mean, really? That's what you're talking about? That's why you wanted to give me a refund because I questioned a price? Like, what is your deal, dude? So I'm thinking, okay, well, whatever. I guess do the work then, you know? And then, if you give somebody a 2-week time, yes, that's because you haven't, I mean, dude, when I go to work, I know sometimes I get busy, and I say, man, I got a lot of stuff to do right now, but I have an idea. If I think in my head, okay, I should be able to get this work done in 2 hours. There is somebody that is depending on this work to get done. They're wanting to know how long. Okay, let me think. I got to do this. Okay, 2 hours. Well, if 6 hours hits, that person might be a little upset. Dude, you told me 2 weeks. Okay, you see what I'm getting at? There's just no reason for that. If something came up, he should have been like, hey, I know I had told you 2 weeks. It's now been 3 weeks. Just be paid. I mean, anything. It's like when you're on hold with AT&T or whoever, and they say, can you please, they're going to put you on hold. Then they come back and said, hey, I'm still here. It's just taking a little longer than I thought. Be right with you. You know that sort of thing? That's common courtesy, dude. So after all that, he's like, you know what? I'm not even going to give you a refund. I'll send you your nice back, but you can use that money towards a new project. I guess, what the hell sense does that even make at all? But whatever. So then I get my knives back. I had made a comment about he's probably fucking Cerakoting over rusted knives because, dude, I'm not accusing him of sending out faulty, crappy product, but let's just see the facts, dude. I sent him a Sangri that was brand new. Brand new. As brand new as brand new, dude. And I sent him a nimble that was maybe a month old. Okay, both of these knives came back with rust on them. So is it really that crazy to think that there are other knives that are, I don't think he has like the Jeff storage unit and he puts all his knife in a safe and he puts all his work in a big safe. That's what he explained it to me. So why is it crazy to think that my knives are the same? It's not like my knives were some cheap freaking Ozark trails that are very rust prone. These are $300 to $375 M390 quality blades and they're rusting in his possession. Why is it crazy to think that that might be happening to other people's knives? You think he hasn't pulled a knife out of that safe before that had rust on it? And if that has happened before, why couldn't he have looked at my knives and seen what dude, everything he did was just wrong. And then when it came to giving me my money back, he refunded me my money using an e-check. And I had to call PayPal to figure this out. I was trying to figure out why is this refund taking so long? I looked it up online, 5 to 7 business days. Okay, a week has passed. What the hell's going on? Well, what the hell was going on was Chris Burns decided to refund me. When you refund somebody, I know because I do waffles, people pay me. There's been situations where I've had to refund people. You have the option to choose how you're going to pay for this refund. You can pay with your balance. This is all basic stuff, dude. This is basic elementary stuff. Chris Burns chose to pay me back using an e-check, okay? You think Chris Burns didn't have a large balance in his PayPal? So he could have sent it back and I would have got it back immediately, but what he chose to do was do it in an e-check, which is going to take me close to 2 weeks to get this money back. Because PayPal told me, I got an email saying, hey, a week and 1 day, 8 days later, I got an email saying, hey, the refund has cleared, you should be good to go. So I had to call PayPal again when my money still was not there. They said, well, with an e-check, it takes 5 to 7 days to clear. I said, I already know that. They said, well, it takes 5 to 7 days to clear, and then it takes another 5 to 7 days to actually hit your account. You think Chris didn't know what he was doing, dude? And for what reason? For what reason? What happened between Chris and I that he couldn't have just come to me and spoke to me about? Everything he did was wrong, dude. Just because you have 100 good interactions with somebody, and you have one interaction where you're totally a piece of shit, that speaks on who you are as a person. Your integrity just went down. I know another guy that everybody loves, and he has his own little business where he does stuff for people and sells product, and he screwed somebody over, and he got booted from the group because of it. And this person reached out to me. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I am VMO Group. The VMO is Vouch Members Only Group. I started that. That's my baby of a group. So I had an admin at the time that I have a lot of respect for, and he kind of looks for people that are screwing people over. That's what he does. That's his gift. He's able to find freaking scammers. He's like the freaking dog, the bounty hunter for scammers. And he pointed this out to me. He says, hey, I know you've done business with this dude before. I just want to bring this to your attention and see how you want to handle it. This dude screwed somebody over, plain and simple. He sent somebody something, that person, and I reached out. I spoke to the person that this happened to. I got to the bottom of what was really going on. I said, hey, I'm just curious on your interaction with so-and-so. Because according to this person, because immediately the person hit me up, noticing that he was not in VMO anymore, and he said, what's going on? And I told him what was going on. He said, that's bullshit. Everything was fine with that guy. It was made right, and there's no issue. So I said, okay, let me look into this. So I looked into it, and I talked to the dude. He said, well, technically he made it right, but what he did first was he sent me the wrong product, and when I reached out to him about it, he freaking blocked me on Messenger. He has screenshots to prove it. He blocked me on Messenger, and then I freaking blasted him, and then he came back, unblocked me, and then he made it right. So yeah, technically he made it right, but he only made it right after I fucking called him out. So my decision, I sided with my admin. I said, okay, so I asked the other management, what do y'all think? And of course they said, well, we love this dude. This dude never did no wrong to anybody. We don't think he should be gone. I said, okay, whatever. And the admin that called this out was like, dude, he's no longer my admin anymore. And that sucks. Because he was the one admin that I held in the highest regards, dude. This dude is a fucking badass. He's somebody that I was honored to have as an admin in my group. And when he saw that this dude was coming back to the group, he said, I'm out. I'm not going to be in a group with a scammer. I don't care if he's done 1,000 good deals. He screwed somebody over and he'll do it again. So that's kind of how I feel about the Chris Burns situation. He may have done 100 good deals, but he's still got it within him to screw somebody. Not only he didn't technically screw me over. He didn't technically screw me over, but he fucking did some bullshit, dude. And that's not right. How he handled me was not right. So anyway, this video has gone on. It's going to be about 30 minutes. So anybody that listened to this whole thing, I hope that you can understand. You got to understand too, dude. When I decided to speak out on Chris Burns, I knew very well you might lose half of your group. But I felt strongly enough that people need to know what happened. That's it. You can make your own opinion. I'm not saying don't do business with Chris anymore. All I'm saying is that I wouldn't do business with Chris personally. I would not recommend anybody to go see Chris Burns. For one, even let's take the whole thing that happened with me and take that out of the equation. There are plenty of other people out there that can do as good or better work in a shorter time period and not have to send your knife in and wait 3+ months to get it back. There is a lot better options out there. Unless you just really want that little fucking snake on your knife, there is no reason to deal with Chris Burns unless you feel that you want to. So, having said that, I don't feel like I should have the need to revisit this. I don't particularly want to revisit this. I just needed to make some things clear. Yeah, so that's that. I hope people, if you're the type of person that heard what I have to say about Chris Burns and you feel like, well, I know Chris Burns is a good dude, so he must have good reason, and you decide that you don't like me anymore, then by all means, dude. It is not going to hurt my feelings if you leave VMO. It is not going to hurt my feelings if you don't like me. My whole philosophy on life is quality over quantity. I would rather have a group with 100 solid ass good dudes than 1,000 people that I'm not crazy about as to how they operate as people. So if this offends you and whatever else, then maybe VMO is just not for you. And there's probably, I promise you, dude, people are making new groups every single day. You know how many freaking requests I have to join groups, dude? People think that they still need to make new groups, dude. There are so many groups, dude. Why? I don't understand the point. The reason I made VMO way back when, 6, 7, however long ago, was because there was a need. I felt there was a need for a group where people could feel comfortable not getting scammed. You know how many people I turned down from VMO? Well, it's not too many, but I was looking last night, and I turned down 5 people, which is not crazy, but there has been 5 people try to get into VMO that I did not think were actual knife people, and I thought they might have ill intent. So all these other groups are full of scammers. They're just waiting for somebody to post an ISO post so they can go and cook some pictures up and scam somebody. And if you get scammed, that fucking sucks, dude. I've never personally been straight out scammed. I know who has been scammed, though, now that I mention it. As soon as all this shit happened with Chris Burns, coincidentally, I'm sure, he got scammed out of $500, dude. And I was like, well, karma's a bitch, dude. So, it's totally unrelated. I mean, that does suck. But if you're an asshole to people, you reap what you sow, dude. I never did nothing wrong to Chris. If anything, I promoted his work, sent him money. If you follow me on IG, I post, tag, everything, every day. I have done nothing but help the Chris Burns brand, and he just treated me like a douchebag. So, that makes him a douchebag, in my eyes. I don't care if he was nice to everybody else but me. So, that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna end it here. Peace, guys.